Hey everyone, this is Laura Godenik with Laura Godenik Astrology, and I'm here to give you the astrology for the week of August 23rd through the 29th, 2021. So I don't know if I mentioned it in my last video, but yesterday on August 22nd, the sun moved into the sign of Virgo. Now, Virgo is a sign that wants to improve, wants to make things better. Virgo wants to sift through, sort through, edit out, cut out anything that is no longer necessary, anything that is extra or not needed. So if you know where Virgo is in your chart, this part of the chart is being activated once again as the sun is highlighting this portion of your chart. Now, we've already had Virgo activated the past month or maybe even 6 weeks with Mars and Mercury and Venus all having gone through Virgo. We still have Mercury and Virgo. We still have Mars and Virgo. Venus, thankfully, is out of Virgo. But so this part of your chart has been getting activated and is continuing to be activated. And I would say more of the kind of traditional Virgoan themes are going to be highlighted because that's what the sun does. Every other planet is going to bring its own additional topics or themes that is related to the topic or archetype of that planet. For instance, when Venus went into Virgo, it was really highlighting relationships and beauty and pleasure and how we experience pleasure and beauty in our lives and in a Virgoan way, for example. So with the sun moving into Virgo, whatever part of your chart that's being highlighted, there's really this sense of sifting through, sorting out, editing, getting rid of, cleaning out, organizing. These are all very Virgoan qualities, wanting to get down to the bare essentials, to be as efficient as possible. I should know this. I'm a Virgo sun. So Virgo is also a sign about service, of wanting to be of service, wanting to be helpful, wanting to improve things, like I said earlier, and make things better. So you might have an instinct or drive over the next couple of weeks while the sun is here to improve or make better this area of your chart. Virgo is a mutable sign. So mutable signs are the signs where we are transitioning from one season to another. So in Virgo season, we're transitioning from summer to fall. And so with all mutable signs, there's this changeable quality, this need for adaptability, flexibility. There's a restlessness to mutable signs needing to, to not necessarily have a routine, although Virgo is one of the mutable signs that does better with a routine, getting that more organized approach to your day, to your life in some way. But Virgo still needs that space to be freer, to kind of move over here, move over there, make adjustments here, make adjustments there, and kind of be flexible and free to move and to roam a little bit. There's kind of with mutable signs, this feeling of being in between, of being in between one thing and another thing. So that, right, once again, that in between of a season. Mutable signs really appreciate and enjoy a variety, having more than one kind of experience or thing or whatever it is, whatever house is being highlighted. There's the idea of multiples because of the double-bodied sign quality of mutable signs. So having, for example, with me, I have Virgo in my 4th house of home and family and land and psychological roots, and I definitely have a dream of having multiple places to land, not necessarily multiple homes, although maybe, but more like multiple places where I feel like I belong. So there's that multiplicity there. Yeah, so there's this need to wander, to adapt, to be flexible. Let's see, going from one role to another. With double-bodied signs, there's this quality of appearing differently to different people and having maybe different roles. Once again, because especially if you're a mutable sign, you're a transitioner, you're transitioning. So yeah, Virgo is an earth sign, so it's focused on being useful, being practical, and being informative. It's ruled by Mercury, planet of communication and learning and exchanges of all kinds. So there is a focus on exchanging ideas, on learning, on disseminating information, on making information gained or received useful, like useful as in this physical realm. So that's it with Sun in Virgo. So once again, if you know what part of your chart has Virgo on the cusp, that part of your chart is being lifted up at this time, highlighted, and there's that sifting, sorting quality that I mentioned in all the things I just said too. Okay, Monday, the 23rd, which is today, we have Venus making a trine to Saturn. This is really about stabilizing. Saturn is a planet of commitment, duty, obligation, stabilizing. It is the planet of tests, trials, and tribulations. But with Venus, goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, and romance, and she's also benefic, some of these kind of harsher qualities of Saturn are toned down, and actually more of the positive qualities of Saturn are gleaned and made useful for Venus. So this could look like stabilizing relationship structures, or stabilizing a relationship, making something maybe was a little inconsistent more consistent, maybe having a structure, having a title, making it official. If it's not a relationship, it could be an art form of some kind, maybe starting something that is going to take effort and practice, and that will take time to develop. So like for me, for example, I'm interested in learning how to DJ, and I know that that's something that I'm going to have to invest in terms of time, energy, and money. So that's one example of how Venus trine Saturn is playing out for me. But yeah, any sort of creative project that you start around this time this week will really have an endurance quality and a sense of persistence, that the energy of persisting. Okay, Tuesday, the 24th, we have Mercury and Virgo opposing Neptune and Pisces. So this is kind of a Mercury retrograde moment, or it's gonna feel like that. Mercury, once again, god of communication, messages sent and received, local travel, how you get from one place to another, your mind, your mentality, how you exchange ideas, etc. And Neptune is the planet of delusions, deceptions, grand vision, rose-colored glasses. And especially when a planet is in opposition to Neptune, especially Mercury, Neptune feels more like a malefic planet, and some of the more negative qualities of Neptune are going to come out. So things might get a little foggy or confusing. You might feel like you're overwhelmed with information, but it's not clear. Things aren't clear. There might be some sort of deception that occurs, so be mindful of who you're talking to, who you're trusting, papers you're signing, agreements you're making. I wouldn't really make any agreements that are legal or long-lasting over the next couple of days because of that. Mercury, once again, it's a planet that rules Gemini and Virgo. What did we just say about Virgo? Virgo likes to sift, sort, and edit, and put things into little piles that make sense. Whereas Neptune likes to merge everything together and make one big mergy soup of everything. It's the planet of connection and oneness, right? So these two planets don't really archetypally go super well together, especially in opposition. So like I said, things get foggy. Be mindful of like making a fool of yourself or saying something foolish. Things can get messy. Maybe like if you're trying to explain something or say something to someone, they might take it in a totally different way that you didn't mean. So watch out for that. Of course, the classic, I don't want to scare anyone, but definitely watch out for like accidents. Hopefully that won't happen, but it's definitely possible. And you might just feel kind of tired. I know me, I just took an overnight Amtrak from Reno from participating in my sister's wedding, and I'm definitely feeling pretty loopy. So I think this is what this Mercury Neptune opposition is for me. But Neptune is about the whole, whereas Mercury is about all the parts. And so this is kind of about missing the parts. What are you missing? What information are you missing? What are you not noticing? What can you learn from this situation? How can you be a little bit more detail oriented? And a good way to kind of deal with this aspect or to work with it is to not have a lot of mental tasks to do. That might not be possible for everyone. For example, me, I'm starting school this week, grad school. And so there's going to be a lot of information that I'm going to be sorting through, and it's probably going to feel a little overwhelming, which is that Neptune coming in. But if you can help it, take a break, take a breather, do something more poetic, musical, maybe some meditation, something where you're giving your mind more of a break and leaning more into the more mythical, ethereal realm of life rather than the practical, mundane. And then Thursday, Mercury makes a trine to Pluto, which is helpful in this whole Mercury-Neptune opposition situation. This is about excavating knowledge, or maybe excavating what you might have learned from the Tuesday transit with Mercury-Neptune. Pluto is a planet about digging beneath the surface and getting underneath the roots, getting to the roots of something. Pluto rules over all things buried, all things underground, heavy metals, gold. And so there's really this sense of like pulling something out, getting to the bottom of something, digging, researching. And the trine is a positive aspect, it's supportive. And so this is a good day to kind of dig into something, research, maybe do some of your own psychological digging. This is a great day for writing, for understanding yourself more deeply on a psychological, spiritual level. You might find out something. You might find out a piece of news or information that I don't want to say could be shocking, but was very well hidden, possibly. And once again, it's a trine, and unfortunately, trines and sextiles aren't as obvious or in our face as squares and opposition. So you might not even really notice this transit unless you take advantage of it and kind of notice the subtlety of what it feels like. So kind of just noticing your own mental processes. It's really, Thursday is a time of clarity, is a time of clarity and emerging from the fog. So it'll be positive on Thursday. And really, that's kind of all of the astrology for the week. There's not that much happening this week. It's not major astrology, like it's not, major themes of the whole year or anything. We're kind of in this little couple month break from all the craziness that we've been experiencing this past summer. So that's kind of a nice thing. I'm excited for a break. But yeah, if you're curious about how this is hitting your chart in particular, or if you want to do a birth chart reading, I am available. Please reach out. Otherwise, I will see you next week with another astrological update, and I hope you have a wonderful week.